Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the PCCS emPower Hour. I'm Chris Marchioni, the founder and executive director at PCCS. And today we have with us Melissa Corio, the information and outreach coordinator from the Staten Island Developmental Disabilities Council. We also have Mary Jacobson, the co-chair of the Community Outreach Committee of the Staten Island Developmental Disabilities Council. And today our premier guest is Diane Perugia. She is the newly elected chairperson of the Staten Island Developmental Disability Council, and she's here today to share with us the rich history of the council, its purpose, its mission, its activities, reflecting on the past, thinking about the future, and talking about it in the present. So Diane, welcome, and please share. We're eager to listen to what you have to say.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us today. Yes, the council, Staten Island Developmental Disabilities Council, was established 52 years ago. So we're in our 52nd year. I was just a little girl at the time, and who knew that this council would be so important in my life and in my daughter's life. Just a little background. I have a daughter, Alexa, who was diagnosed with autism at 2 years old. She now is 28. She turned 28 last year. I grew up in Willowbrook, and I remember my parents used to take me there to feed the ducks. And I remember seeing some of the individuals that lived there wandering into the park, and I was always intrigued by them. And just amazing that now my life is about advocating for the disabled, and life comes around in full circle. But the council has been so important to me in my life, and we are here for all people who have anything to do with developmental disabilities, not only the families and self-advocates, but those who work in the field, because those who work in the field advocate every day for the people that they work for. And so we were established 52 years ago. We work with the state in partnership and provider agencies to develop and promote supports and services that will address and enhance the lives of those who are disabled. And that's the bottom line, what we do. We have 12 standing committees at the council. And I remember when my daughter was little, I didn't think I would be active in any of these committees. When I took a glance at what the council did, I just didn't think so. And when she was little, I did join the Family Support Advisory Council. And I have to say that really helped me along the way, just for the fact that I found out what was out there for my daughter, and I was able to be part of those meetings and learn about the different agencies that provide supports and services. So if you're a parent or self-advocate, I think that's one of the first committees maybe you can join. We have family support. We also have education committee. The education committee also for the little ones to help navigate through the your educational journey. I think it's important to be part of that. And then as your loved one becomes older, there are so many other committees that you can join. So
how often does the I know you have general council meetings. How often does that occur? And are they being held virtually, in person? I'm sure you're probably going to get to that, but I got a message here. Somebody was asking that question.
That's a really good question, and thank you for it. We meet as a general council once a month. Right now, we are meeting virtually once a month. We are on schedule for our December meeting to meet in person, but we are going to try to do both and continue to do both. We spoke this morning with the staff at the council, and we have the equipment to do both. So we're going to give it our best shot effort, because there are young families and people who cannot leave their office, or they're not comfortable leaving their home or office, and that's okay. We want you to be members. We want you to be part of this. Every general council meeting, we have a guest speaker that will talk about some hot topics, topics of interest. We do surveys with our membership to find out what our membership wants to learn about, and we try to get those speakers to attend. Also, very important at those meetings, we have our committees giving a report on the hard work that they do all month. So it really is a very informative meeting, and it is once a month on a Friday, usually the third Friday of the month, from 9:30 till we try to end about 11, sometimes 11:30.
That's great information. And the council's been around for 52 years now, like you said. What do you think with a new governor in place? We know that she's running for re-election, and a new commissioner. What are your thoughts, on this new administration? How are you feeling about it?
I'm
Not
feeling
only as the chair of the council, but also as a parent.
so because I've been involved with the council, I've watched what the governor has done throughout the years, and I was very disappointed in Governor Cuomo. There were significant cuts, which affect all our children and the agencies. How hard is it for our provider agencies to be able to stay afloat when these cuts have taken place? And they were so devastating. This new governor is giving us hope. Last year was the first time that our budget looked hopeful and we didn't have cuts. And so I feel hopeful. I'm usually an optimistic person anyway. My mentors told me when these cuts started happening, oh my gosh, Governor Cuomo is taking us back. It's going to take us 30 years to get back to where we were. And I thought they were exaggerating. And now I see they weren't exaggerating. They were right. It is going to take a long time to get us back to where we were before the cuts started. And we also have a very strong advocacy committee that is part of the council. And we have our two chairs there are mentors to all of us. They've been around a long time, and they've watched all the cuts come. And so they lead us with our advocacy efforts and working with our legislators to telling our legislators in our local government what our needs are and what the situation is, and to actually give examples, how these cuts affect our children and young adults and adults.
Yeah. And I know that there's councils in the other boroughs. Are you focusing? I mean, every year, we focus on many different things. Is there something specific this year that you're working on? I know you're connected with other groups like New York City Fair, Save Our Services group. And I know this is new to you. You've only been in the position a couple of months. So just to get some information out and of things that are new to you, but yet you're able to bring your ideas, your lived experience as well as your daughters. What do you think the focus is? Is there anything specific that you would like to focus on?
Well, we have a lot of crises going on here, right? So, in my personal opinion is our housing crisis, right? My daughter's 28. I'm on Community Board 3. I chair health and wellness. We oversee the group homes that are opening. The last 8 years, there's hardly any group homes opening. And this is a problem because all these individuals that need group homes, they are on a list. So yes, I personally feel that our housing issue is a crisis. There's also a crisis for those who are medically challenged with places to go during the day. We don't have that. We don't have facilities and places for them to go during the day, and their families are aging. We have a lot of crisis, but like you said, we work together with New York City Fair. Our advocacy committee and some other past chairs like yourself, Chris, are on those committees. And it is important when we advocate that we have one message, and they're all our priorities. After school centers, weekend programs, residential issues, behavioral issues. There's so many priorities, but we like to stay focused with the group to advocate in one voice. Another big issue that comes to mind is our direct support staff, right? So every agency has direct support staff, and we can't get staff. If you can't get staff, our kids can't go out in the community. If individuals cannot go out in the community, we're going back. We're going back to another Willowbrook, and this we can't let happen. We have to bring to light to our government officials what is going on. This crisis in staffing affects all our kids, and that is a top priority.
Yes, exactly. You know, one of the reasons why we created this show, and I believe it's going on about 3 years now that we've been doing this, and we've had a variety of guest speakers. Oh, excuse me. We're not very technical. We're not MSNBC here. You're going to hear my phone in the background, different noises, somebody coming in and asking me if I want coffee. So I apologize for that. Yeah, and of course now I lost my train of thought. No, we've had several different guests, over the years and everything to highlight, the issues going on with the developmentally disabled community, and so many allies and activists that are part of the community, people receiving services, their parents, the other family members, direct support professionals, provider agency reps, right? Even our local neighbors and friends and family that don't work necessarily or do the things that we do, but they want to be part of it, and they want to know how we can help make transformative change. So one of the reasons why we came up with this show is to get the word out there, bring more people along on this journey, and to change the perceptions of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and remove those myths that we just have low expectations, that they should be offered the same opportunities as non-disabled citizens. So with that, maybe we could discuss a little bit of what I know we have Mary here from the Community Outreach Committee. Maybe talk about how what our outreach efforts are, and the importance of, I know Diane, you touched on it a little bit, of the importance to join the council. But we don't want just people who know what this is about. We want the business owners, editors of newspapers, CEOs from other businesses and corporations. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. Mary or Marissa, if you want to join in.
Well, I'll speak a little bit. This year we are, of course we work with the council and things that they're all working on. This year we are trying to incorporate younger families into the mix. And we're also going to try to reach out to Spanish speaking families, because we're working on translation equipment and, reaching out them. Because I work in a school, and I know it's important to reach out to them. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking families within our own community here in Port Richmond, and I know that we need to reach out to them.
Right.
They ask questions, they want to know, but then then they don't know, because then they don't understand. So that's kind of our focus. Always pushing forward. Getting more and more people to know about it. Like we talk about. I talk about it all the time wherever I am. People know that I'm on the council now. So, it's just interesting. It's interesting that people ask you a question once they know that you're on it.
Right.
So people, are becoming a little aware. I know I work in RABs also, and they're completely aware about the council. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
It is a good thing. You need people that are followed by other people. Like that's what we have to watch for now. Like, you see people that are in the news or on Facebook doing things, and then those are the people you have to tap into.
Right.
So, here we are. You want to talk about us when you're out there? Okay, and they're all good. They're all good people out there. Jimmy is wonderful. Jimmy Max, he's a wonderful guy. He talks. He does things. So that's our focus this year: to work on newer families, younger families.
And Mary, if I could just add to that.
Yes, go ahead.
If I could just add to that, for example, we realize now that we're going back into the community, there's a lot of the Spanish-speaking families that aren't helped to say. So when I go out, I find myself, we're actually texting each other, because then they could translate my words through text. So I meet people, and you see on their face, they have that, confusion that the young parents have, and they just don't know how to navigate yet. Like Diane is seasoned now and she's still learning. But back when she was younger, it's very confusing and it's a hard time. So I would sit there and I'm texting these Spanish speaking families, and they're translating what I'm saying and I'm doing the same thing. So that's when we kind of realized too, we have to have all of our material in Spanish, and maybe work on a translator eventually. This way we could really reach out to everyone on Staten Island. That's what we're here for, to be inclusive, and we want to make sure we're helping everyone. And as Diane said earlier, the SIDDC is about navigating the services, getting the supports, the resources, and most importantly, maybe the advocacy. And that's why we ask you to join, because the numbers are important. Like at a government level, when we go and we work with our government officials, it's important to see that we have 400 parents behind us, hopefully more eventually, and our purpose, there is a reason we're here, and we have that kind of backup. That's why we ask you to join. That's one reason. Of course, we want everyone to receive the information and learn from our amazing co-chairs, but we really need people to join too for the advocacy component of this.
And if I can chime in here on something Chris mentioned earlier, that you don't have to be a disabled person or a family member to be part of this. We need a whole circle of support, right? So my daughter has a circle of these aunts, uncles, the gentleman who owns the deli down the block. He knows Alexa. Like, we can all be part of this, and we all should be part of this, because we all know someone with a disability. And somehow in your life, you're going to come across someone who has a disability, and you're going to know how to help them through our council,
Right?
through the SIDDC. I just want to mention all of the committees that we have. We have adult services, we have advocacy, we have care management, we have a family resource and transition fair that we do yearly. I believe this year will be in January or February. We didn't set a date yet, where we give information out. We have a community outreach committee, which Mary is chair of. We have an education committee, family support advisory council committee, which I mentioned earlier, health and clinical services committee, residential quality of life, self-directed support. So that's self-directed supports, which is the newest way to fund supports and services to our loved ones. And we have very important committee, one that I just love it, is the Willowbrook Legacy Committee. So Willowbrook is right here in our backyard. We have a museum that is right on the grounds of the College of Staten Island, that was just officially opened, that we all should know about, and we should all visit. I know the next family support meeting, we're going to do that mile walk. We'll probably do a half-mile walk, and because we could never forget what happened at Willowbrook, and we have to honor those people who lived there and always remember what happened, right? Our bench reads,
Right.
always moving forward, never back. We will always move forward as a council to help all the people we serve and give them the best quality of life, but we got to look back, and we can't forget what happened there. And I think that is so, so important. And we have a web
Right.
page,
If
right?
we could share the webpage so I could show, I see someone asked, how can you join? The next thing, we're going to go to the website so I can show you how to join, where to find our committees. And is it shared? Let's see. Okay, let me make mine larger. All right.
Before we do that, Marissa,
Sure.
sorry, Diane, you started off, this year as chair with something very significant. The Willowbrook State School is a dominant story of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's part of their history. Some of it, as we know, very tragic. And then still remnants of that exist today, that, us as activists, disability justice activists, that we work so very hard, to change the way people view people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But you talked about the Willowbrook Mile, and maybe, I think maybe just talk about the event that happened on September 17th, and how did it feel? I mean, I want you to talk about it, but, you were on stage with some very important, people. So maybe I want to just share a little bit about that experience. And
You
it was a
know,
nice way to start off your term.
it was a wonderful day. It was the opening of the mile. And we at the council spearheaded the committee that took it to the next level. Okay, so we at the council I'm going to say about 15 years ago.
Actually, Diane, it was closer to 20, believe it or not.
Oh my God. All right.
20
Time
years.
flies. Yeah. So 20 years ago, it's hard to believe because I was around when this started. And Diane, who chairs our Willowbrook Legacy Committee, she was the first chair of that committee. And they wanted to use the land at Willowbrook. They wanted to use it for more buildings and things to do for the college. And we stepped in there and said, listen, there's history here. You know what happened here? So Diane met with the college and the other council people, and they convinced the college to create the mile. And at first they wanted to use the land for supports and services for those that are disabled. But after they did surveys and what have you, they realized that they couldn't get the money to do it. That was the first thing. And secondly, that a lot of the land is wetland, so it wasn't buildable. So after other meetings and discussions and surveys, they decided that what they would do with the land is to have a museum of some sort, and it's a walking museum. There is some part of it indoors where there's like a library area where there are some artifacts, but there's kiosks all over the college. And it's we call it the Willowbrook Mile, but it's really a mile and a half. So I plan to do half of it at one point. So on that day, Geraldo Rivera was there. There were three entities that came together. It was the council, it was the college, and it was the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities. And the three stakeholders came together to create this mile. And we did a ribbon cutting and ceremony on that day, September 17th of this year. It was a beautiful day, and it honors all those who lived at Willowbrook. We had individuals that lived at Willowbrook with us that day, and it was really, really, really a fun day, and it should go down in history. I know in my life, it's going down in history.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very significant point in time. September 17th, 1987 was the official closing of the Willowbrook State School. That's so very interesting. From the time that, this was, all of the, horrors that were going on at the Willowbrook State School, the lack of resources, the lack of staffing, and just the overcrowding, 6,000 people. And it took so long from 1972 to 1987 to finally move everyone out, to live within, their own communities. Some people decided to move to new communities. But it really just highlights, how significant, this really is. And it is a tribute to the victims and survivors, of the Willowbrook State School. And, it's a shame that it's one of the most unforgotten, significant times, in our history. And it really does need to be looked at so that we can, transform the current service systems that we have. We've come a long way, but, now more than ever, we need to pull together, especially with, Governor Hochul, signing into law a state office that, for disability, not just, hiring staff and then assigning a chief disability officer, but for creating that office, that it exists in law, that a new governor coming in can't change that. That's really significant. So yeah, I think, we're doing good work together. Marissa, I'm sorry, I'll give it back to you because you have the important information of how to join.
It's okay. So as soon as we share the screen, perfect. So we could just start with our committees. I know Diane went over them already, but this is where you would find the committees, a little bit about them, and the contact person. So this is a very informative page. I use it often when I am out and I meet parents and they have a particular need, whether it's education or self-direction. I use this as a resource for them to just have that email. So they could reach out and see when the next meetings are or ask a particular question. So the next thing, we could go to the resources tab, and let's go to important documents. This is another important piece of the website. This was updated as of this month, actually. So everything on here, from the NICID reimbursement, we have a quick check-in for the hospital. What else is on here? Guardianship paperwork. I reached out to the OPW, I reached out to the courts, and all of this information is the most updated documents. If there are any agencies on this live right now who have important information for me to add here or documents, I would love to do that. So I'll have them put my email in the chat because I don't think I have access to it. And you could send me anything that is appropriate for this page. We could go to the calendar, Giovanella. Thank you so much. And here we have some upcoming events. You can kind of read that for yourself. It's very small for me here. Let's see. So the emPower Hour is on there. There's a Health and Wellness Expo today. Our council meetings. Next week we have 2 committee meetings, the Self-Direction and Education meeting, and some other stuff, just like the support groups in Staten Island. We have a fun event at the Grace Foundation that's on there. Again, any agencies on here, please send me information to add to the calendar so people have access to that. The last thing, let's go to the join page. That's important, all the way at the end. Yes. This is where you could become a member. You could choose your category. And as of today, actually, I'm going to be uploading a lifetime membership option. So you could become a lifetime member of the council. You could check back tonight and that will be on there. Or if one of these align with who you are, you could do that too. So this is how you join. You could just click, if you're a parent caregiver, for example, you could click that. That's who you are. And then this is how you sign up. Pretty self-explanatory there. You just submit it, and then we receive it at the office, and we include you on all of the newsletters and the emails and stuff like that. So that's the website. Feel free to navigate, and please join today.
And the cost for membership is $10
Yes.
for a parent or family member?
Yes, if Diane wants to speak about that, there is an option. You know, there is a waived option, but if you do have the $10, Diane, would you like to speak on that?
Sure. You know, it's $10 to join. If you don't have the $10, it's okay.
Right.
We don't discriminate. Okay. So please join the council. It's so important. You have a moment, go to our website. Look and learn what's out there for you, because you're not alone. We are here to help you through your journey, whether you are a self-advocate, a parent, or a person of interest, a neighbor who wants to help another neighbor that's going through a hard time. Anybody could join the council. Anybody could be part of our family, and we welcome you all. We are on a mission, as Mary mentioned earlier, to have, you know, to build our membership and to bring in those younger families, because we want to help you. We are here. We want to help you. You don't have to join a committee. You could just show up at one of our meetings. Our website has the dates of all our committee meetings. You don't have to sign up in the beginning of the year. You can join a committee any time of year that you want. We understand everybody has a busy life, right? We're all busy. We're all trying to juggle everything and all our different interests and jobs and what have you in our lives. When you can, show up to meeting. We want to hear your input. We want to hear how we can help you. And the council has helped me along my journey as a mom. Look at that, I'm chair now, right? So it obviously helped me enough that I stood involved to this level. So please, we want to help you. Join the council and be part of our family. You will not be disappointed, because we have the information that will help you.
Right, and it's not so much, it's really about finding solutions. We talk a lot about the problems that exist, but together, when we share our experiences, whether, you know, from a person who's receiving services, as a parent, you know, as a provider representative, we work together to really find solutions. And we've come up with them, you know, working together with our partners at OPWDD, working together with our local legislators and Congress members. So it really is important, like Diane said, you know, to join, because I'm sure that you're coming up against challenges, but the way to find the solutions is if we do it together and come together. Did Mary, Marissa, did you want to add anything before we sign off for today?
No, I'm just gonna, I mean, my personal story was that I just was sent here by my company to go and sit in the meetings because nobody else wanted to come to Staten Island. And I have learned so
Well,
much.
just tell your company people that us Staten Islanders don't like going out of the borough either. So,
I'll tell you, and now, right, and now everything we do, I have to send to them because now, now they have to come. But you know, I've just learned so much. You know, like I really just kind of went to work every day and did my job with my children here, and but now I just know that there's like another world out there for them, and it's needed, and it, you know, we need to get them out there, and they have to know. So we're gonna do our best this
The
year.
last thing I just wanted to add, my email is in the chat now. Giovanella is placing that in the chat. I know this runs not just live, we're going to be reposting. So if anyone wants to send me information for the website or has any issues joining, anything at all, my email is there for you guys. So have a great day.
thank you. Diane, you're going to have the last word.
I'm going to have the last word. Join the council. You will not be sorry. We're open to greet you from anywhere because now we're virtual, right? So you can be anywhere. We have parents from Florida that now are able to sign in, right? So how great is that? Go to our website, SIDDC.org. Our meeting dates are there. Our alerts for advocacy are there. There's information about the Willowbrook Mile. The college is now doing like a Willowbrook Legacy series. Go to our website and learn about all people who are disabled, learn about what we do and who we are, and we will help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Diane. Good luck on your term as chair. You got a full 2 years ahead of you, but I think it's an exciting time. It's a pivotal time. Looking forward to working with all of you. And thank you, everyone, for joining the PCCS emPower Hour. We will see you next month. Have a great day.